Deion Sanders faces criticism over Shedeur's NFL draft slide, and told to keep quiet for Colorado coach Primes has come under fire after having a perceived negative impact on his son Deion Sanders. Known as much for his charisma as his coaching, is under scrutiny following a difficult NFL draft experience for his son, Shedeur Sanders, and a string of offseason challenges lie ahead for the Colorado Buffaloes football program. While Deion's arrival at Colorado brought unprecedented attention and early wins, recent developments have triggered criticism from analysts and former players, calling into question how the spotlight he commands might be casting an unintended shadow. Shedeur Sanders was once projected as a top NFL draft pick, but he fell to the fifth round, where the Cleveland Browns selected him 144th overall. The steep drop shocked many, including sports commentator Colin Cowherd, who didn't mince words in his analysis of the situation. "I couldn't understand why he's dropping. What in the world is happening?" "That is happening," Cowherd said, suggesting that Deion's public presence might have contributed to teams hesitating on Shedeur. "That's why I like the tack that Arch Manning and his family do. They're staying in the shadows. That's where all the real power is in life. Get out in the sun and get burned." Deion was in the sun. Deion spent too much time on television. Cowherd further emphasized this sentiment by stating, "Quarterback dad has become pageant mom," a jab at how Deion's relentless media appearances may have affected perception around Shedeur's readiness and focus. Adding to the friction were rumors that Shedeur had made lavish purchases like a luxury vehicle, which both he and Deion publicly denied, labeling them as unfounded distractions. Internal discord at Colorado internally, Deion's decisions are under the microscope. One prominent issue was his choice to keep Shedeur in games during blowout wins, raising safety concerns and accusations of stat padding. Critics argue this approach risks player health in pursuit of personal or promotional gains. The tension deepened when former safety Xavier Smith accused Sanders of demoralizing players by quickly moving them into the transfer portal, implying that player development was taking a backseat to optics. Shedeur dismissed Smith's claims, but the exchange revealed ongoing divisions within the locker room and alumni base. The Buffaloes also faced setbacks beyond the field. Colorado was penalized by the NCAA for engaging in recruitment discussions before the allowable period, leading to sanctions and the temporary suspension of their live streaming activities, a hallmark of Deion's media-forward brand. These issues have led some within and outside the program to suggest that Deion dialed back his public presence. With the team struggling to retain players and now grappling with compliance issues, the calls for Coach Prime to focus inward are growing louder. As the next season looms, the pressure is on Deion Sanders, not just to deliver results, but to recalibrate the balance between publicity and performance. Whether he can adapt without dimming the spotlight he thrives in will shape both his legacy and the Buffalo's future. It was supposed to be a celebration, the culmination of years of sweat, sacrifice, and Saturday stadium roars. Shedeur Sanders had entered the NFL draft with hype louder than the Boulder wind, Heisman buzz, highlight reels, and a surname echoing through football history. But the first round came and went, then the second. By the time the third ticked by, fans weren't chanting anymore. They were questioning. And at the center of it all stood Deion, Coach Prime Sanders. Not on a stage this time, not with glittering shades or a soundbite ready for SportsCenter. Just Deion, watching his son wait, watching his critics rise. The slide the NFL draft is cruel in its honesty. For every shining story, there was a slide. For Shedeur, the slide was sudden. Some said it was arm strength, others pointed to his decision-making under pressure. But beneath the scouting reports and analyst panels, a quieter reason buzzed louder. Too much prime, they whispered. Too much flash. Too many cameras. Some teams, it was rumored, were hesitant to invite not just Shedeur the quarterback, but the circus they feared would come with him. And no matter how brilliant Shedeur's throws were, it was hard to separate him from his coach, his mentor, his father. Deion Sanders had turned Colorado football into a national phenomenon. Sold-out stadiums, celebrity appearances, and locker room speeches that trended weekly.